Hello, 3D Design. We have a new project that will be changing out from our initially planned wood project called Material Magic, which I think will be a really fun project for you all. It will kind of take a combination of learning from your previous skill set that you already had in this course. So things like working with wire and working with the cardboard and hot glue will definitely come into play, but you guys definitely have a lot of flexibility with the materials you could potentially use for this piece. And it will also be a really good precursor to body extension, which will be your final. And I know everybody's really excited about that particular project. So I think these two working in combination with one another will be a good time for you guys to learn. All right. So as far as our kind of crazy circumstances that we're dealing with, I wanted to start off by saying a few things just to kind of keep everybody motivated. And one thing is, extraordinary people survive under the most terrible circumstances and become extraordinary because of it. Artists are really no strangers to working under restrictions or, having limits, whether that be financial, whether that be circumstantial, whether that be what they have access to. Um, as you guys have all heard me say repeatedly, artists are creative problem solvers. And essentially, that's what you're getting your degree in, is creative problem solving. So as an artist, it is your responsibility to find the solution to a studio life or logistics problem. Consider the skills that you already have and consider new skills that you are potentially interested in learning. You have the ability to teach yourself through practice and dedication. So you don't necessarily have to go into a project knowing 100% how to do something. For example, I once did a project where I had to braid. As silly as it sounds, I never really learned how to braid when I was a kid. I always just kind of threw my hair back in a ponytail when I had long hair. And it was just something I never really, prioritized in doing. So I had to learn how to braid as an adult. And what I did was I watched YouTube tutorials and I just practiced. And then when I felt comfortable enough, I braided hair for one of my art pieces. So, say you're interested in like crocheting or knitting or doing something like that. Um, definitely utilize online tutorials, YouTube. And then the big one is just really practicing, practicing and just getting that skill set down. So, again, Material Magic, that is going to substitute our woodshop project because obviously we can't get into the woodshop. For this project, I will give a demonstration on how to work with foam in case you choose to use it for your project. Basically, what I'm getting at is when you're using foam or you're using wire or you're using cardboard, those are basically forms you can sculpt and you can build on top of them with another material. So, and whenever we do that kind of method, that's called building an armature. So you can make them out of foam, you can make them out of wire, you can make them out of cardboard, you can make them out of wood. Basically, it's a structure that you are building on top of. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I get off quarantine on Thursday, so I'll be able to get into the studio to make a demo, hopefully pretty soon, as long as nothing else crazy happens. Again, the change is to give you more options as far as assignment flexibility. Um, this other line I created a little bit earlier before the restrictions got a little bit tighter. But if you need materials like foam or cardboard, I have some in the sculpture studio. I'll just have to figure out how to get them to you somehow. And, I can work with you on that. And then I will also do whatever I can to help you get your assignments completed. So definitely, email me and, we have video chat available through, we can use GChat. So, I am definitely going to be available to you guys for whatever you need. All right. So as far as the handout goes, the handout is on Moodle as well as a materials list. So be sure to read the project prompt. Take a look at the non-traditional materials list. So these are just some ideas of what you can use. If you're interested in another non-traditional material that isn't on the list, you can definitely use it and just, let me know. Stay in touch with me as your progress continues. All right, so let's take a look at some artists that are using examples of non-traditional materials. First one I have for you is Sandy Skoglund, and she's an installation artist. Now, something I want you to note is I want you to take a look at the quality of this image, right? So, the way this is shot, it's all about the piece itself. So this is called the installation art. Essentially, what she's doing is she's covering an entire room and making kind of like this whole scenario with these people in these covered in cheetah doodles here. So the image is really well done. You can tell what's going on in the art piece, and I that's really important for you guys as you guys are making a digital portfolio is really think about, how those images are constructed. On Moodle, I do have some pointers on how to photograph your work. So, you can make it like really clean looking and, potentially use it for your portfolios. So, Sandy Skoglund, first example. Second example, this is Andy Goldsworthy. And this isn't the best image of his. He's actually, the other two images I have are a lot better, but he uses a lot of materials out in nature. So, he'll go outside and he'll start making these different kinds of forms and he'll photograph them. Here's another example of some of his work. So, again, this is all stuff he's just finding out in nature, and he's just taking a couple like basic tools with him, like, a couple hammers, maybe some chisels, just kind of, for the ice piece, he'd shape it. But, as far as like the other pieces where, he would just use the twigs or just use the leaves that are around him, he wouldn't use any tools at all. And, to create these really beautiful installations. Tara Donovan, these are all straight pins. And they all made this giant cube form. So she's a great one to look at for non traditional material use. Um, she's an artist that uses a lot of mundane materials like Dixie cups, or this next piece of hers, she uses different kinds of pencils to kind of make these landmass like forms. So they're all cut up at different heights, and she glued them all together in order to create these pieces. Here's an up close of these pencils so you can see. Angela Ellsworth. So in this case, she's actually using fabric. She's got these fabric forms, and then she's building on top of them by using these what's called corsage pins. They're straight pin needles, but with little pearl heads on them. And she's using the color to kind of create different patterns and textures and whatnot. And this is another really good example of non-traditional material use. Janine Antoni using things like chocolate and soap. Dana Lynn Harper using a shiny wrapping paper that you'd find at any kind of like craft or thrift store, or I'm sorry, not thrift store, craft store or like Michael's or whatnot. Now, just so you guys know, places like Blick are still accepting orders, and they're actually things from Blick are coming very quickly. So I ordered from them the other day and I got my order within 24 hours, which was shocking how fast that was. So they're still, sending stuff out if you need to order anything. Another Dana Lynn Harper piece. So this piece is made actually really simply. So this is made from chicken wire. And then what she did was she took flagging tape that she found at the hardware store, and then she would just tie little knots on the chicken wire and just build up this form and eventually covered a whole room that way. So she has the chicken wire hanging from the ceiling and all the ribbons kind of just like hanging down. So really simple method, but really cool construction. Made a really nice piece that way. Millicent Young, so she's used something as crazy as hair and grapevine to make this piece. Tom Friedman using sugar cubes to make a human figure. Merritt Oppenheim, this is a fur cup and knife. Freya Jobbins, these are all doll parts that she used to make different kinds of figures. So these are really unsettling kind of figures. So El Antasoy, he's using metal cans. So what he did was he cut them all into little pieces and drilled little holes on either end and then wrapped wire in order to make like a giant tapestry like form. Sarah Lucas using cigarettes. I apologize, this image is a little bit blurry, but this is Jean Shin. These are lottery tickets that all didn't win, called Chance City. Another Jean Shin piece. These are all discarded cell phones to create kind of like these big like masses. John Bisbee. So this one's a little familiar. We actually covered him in the first project, and this is a these are all nails, straight nails. Some of you might have met Joanna, but not all of you have. She was a senior here at Keystone, and she really liked the body extension project. And after she did that project, she kind of kept going and decided to work with a lot of materials that were just being discarded. So, the piece on the left, these are all like pizza boxes that she made into a tutu. And the one on the right, these are all old blanks. The next several pieces we're going to look at actually fall under the body extension category as well, but I thought they were a great use of non traditional materials, so I decided to put them in there as well. And piece on the left, this is Joanna's brother modeling for her, and these are all Oreo wrappers. Piece on the right's made from all old records. So again, she kind of did the same methodology as Angela Ellsworth, where she had some sort of fabric armature, and then she was building material on top of it, and that's how she created these pieces. This is an artist I recently found on Instagram, and I thought she was a really great example for both the non-traditional material use project and the body extension. Um, she used coral and sponges. The piece on the far left, middle piece is crystal. The right piece is all like different kinds of mosses and just grass that she'd find in nature. Piece on the in this one, it's made out of balloons and eggs. Actually, I forgot to list that there, but really great example of non-traditional material use. And then this is the last image I had, and you all know how much I love puns, and I had to end with a pun. This is the ramen. This is all made from ramen. And I thought this was just so funny and great, and I had to show you guys. So, Youngmin Kang, the ramen. And, great material that wouldn't expect to use, and also good example of the body extension. So if anyone has any questions, again, available via email, video chat, and we will go from there. All right, looking forward to seeing what you all make and stay in touch.